Alrighty. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Orange County Funding Corp's excuse me, Finance Committee meeting. The time is now 4:07. Can we get a roll call, Bill?
Sure. Mark Green,
Present.
Linda Muller,
Here.
Jeffrey Christ,
Here.
Dean Tambury,
Present.
four members present. For staff, Bill Fioravanti, Marty Barras, and Kelly Riley. We have our external CFO, Shannon Manisi here. I didn't forget her today when I mispronounced her name. We also have acquisitions marketing doing the AV, our state monitor, Brian Sandvidge, and our general counsel, Lino Sharetta here.
Alrighty. Notice of this meeting was properly provided.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Let's get right to the minutes from February 19th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
It says here I'm supposed to ask first.
I'm just ahead of you.
Alright, fine. We have a motion.
Off to a bad start.
Can we get a second?
Second.
Fantastic. Let's open it up. Any discussions that need to come about?
Good.
No? All right, then can we get a motion for a, thank you.
Well, yes. Yes.
Aye.
All in favor? 4-0, motion passes.
There we go.
All right, let's get right to Shannon to talk about the February 2025 financials, please. And we're on the funding court.
So, for the funding court, yep. So for February, there was $151 in interest earnings, and you had your share of management fee expenses of $8,100. And then you'll see that there is a bad debt expense, but it's actually a recovery because Cream Enterprises paid some of their outstanding balance in February, less the fee for the debt collection company that's being utilized for $407. So that was the net amount that came in. So for the month of February, there was a loss of almost $8,000. Any questions on those?
I don't see any questions. Continue.
Okay. So for the bank account, there was $218,000 in the checking account, and there was 1.6 in the CD for February.
All right, do we want to do the payables? Do we have any payables?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do the payables and then we'll come back to the CDs. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
For the payables, there's nothing unusual here. We have the management fee, and we also have OBT. We did get an extra charge of $464 for Shannon doing all the year-end stuff with the auditors and with me. That's it.
All right, so the 350 is just our standard one, and then
Yes.
the 464 is because of year end.
Yes. And then the last page has the management fee breakdown for March, or February.
Does anybody have any questions about those two slides?
No, I do not.
Chris, you were color coded over there.
That's right.
You're making me nervous. Is everything all right?
Yeah, looks good.
All right, let's jump back to the treasury bill. As we discussed last month, we have a treasury that I believe comes due in the next day or two, right? Tomorrow. That is the JP Morgan bill that matures March 20th. As we've kind of done, and if someone has a different thought process, please speak up, but we want to continue to stagger these so they come due every 3 months, so we're always liquid if needed. Everyone's got, I believe, the CD sheet in front of them. To me, it makes sense if we're doing a 9-month that we should continue to do the treasury bill. It's liquid in case we ever did need something within 3 months. It just also so happens to pay the most, it's still over 4%.
If I can just add there, it allows us to even take a portion of that investment out. Like this did happen before, we needed more cash flow, so we just took a portion of the T-bill. We didn't have to close it out like with a CD. Just adding to
And
it.
get penalized.
Correct.
So, is everyone good, forwarding? Again, this comes due tomorrow. I forgot off the top of my head roughly how much we'll make, but doing another 600,000.
Can I see, I
Can
don't
Oh.
have that sheet.
Can I just add something that
Please.
the regional,
Food bank.
food bank is gonna be coming due of $250,000 within, what, a month or so, you said?
Yes.
So we're gonna need to take money out in order to give them the 250,000. Because we only have 218 in the checking account now.
Okay, thanks.
Well, that's very pertinent information.
See, we just don't know when, but it's gonna be coming soon, correct?
Within a month.
Within-
Yeah.
Which way does it work better, if we put the 600 in and then take out what we need when we need it, or is there a penalty?
There is no penalty for the T-bill,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's a little bit, and it doesn't matter, but it's a little bit more work than if we just take it out now.
Including for
For
the
that
institution,
3 to
so.
4 weeks.
All right, I apologize.
Don't know if that's the intention to do that,
Yeah, but
but
the interest we would lose, compared to the amount of work for 4 weeks, not that
I
much.
don't think it's,
Okay.
I don't think it's so much. I apologize. 250,000?
Yes,
And is that the full amount or is that the half?
that's the
of,
full
like,
amount.
full amount.
So that, then
We're done.
Okay.
That's the only obligation coming out of OCFC on the plan.
All right.
The rest is idea.
Well, let me ask you this question. If we took out, instead of rolling over the 600,000, if we rolled over 500,000, that would give us in our checking account 319,000
Mhm.
plus whatever interest we made on this CD. So, you're probably looking 320, 321, something, 22. Then if you took out the 250, right, that gives us roughly between 70 and 75,000 left in the checking account.
For 3 months.
For 2 months.
For 2 months
Yeah.
until June.
What do you, I mean, do you?
What are we
foresee
running,
anything?
10 or 12,000 a month, I wanna say? 8,000 in management fees, some bookkeeping, insurance.
Yeah,
Probably works.
so this way we can, maximize the amount we have to continue to do that. Again, I don't see this having as many uncertainties that come up.
Sure.
So it seems to me we should be able to get by with 70,000 in the checking account until June.
Mhm.
Does that make sense to you all?
Yes.
There's also interest coming in when it matures.
Yes.
How much would that be roughly?
You figured some of that.
I'm guessing between $3,000 and $5,000.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm saying,
Got
well,
it. Yep.
if
Thank
we
you.
did the 100,000 plus
Mm.
the interest we get,
Mhm.
we pay the food bank the 250, that would give us between 70 and 75,000 in the account.
I'm good with that.
And we're thinking expenses being aggressive at, let's say, 12,000 a month,
Yeah.
which would be very, very aggressive. We should be more than fine. And again, heaven forbid, we could then take money out of the T-bill if we had to, but does that make sense to everybody?
Absolutely, I love the conservative approach.
So you're putting 500,000 in as opposed to 6? Is that
Correct.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I would,
That's fine.
my recommendation would be to roll 500,000, we keep 100,000 plus the interest, and we keep that in the checking account.
For 9 months in the T-bill.
Yes, we'd roll 500,000, 9 months in that 4.02% T-bill. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Do we need to make a motion on that?
Yes.
Can I?
We're gonna repeat that in the board meeting for
Yes.
real approval, so, but we need to do it now.
So I'll make the motion, we advise the board to do this motion of 500,000 T-bill.
9 months.
Beautiful.
Second.
Second. Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0.
Terrific.
All right, so,
That's everything for OCFC.
well, just real quick,
Wait, did
We
we?
have to approve.
we
We
have
didn't
to,
approve.
yeah. Shannon, do you have anything else to add before we approve?
No, I just looked back at your expenses for fiscal 2024, and on average, you were about $10,000 a month.
Yeah, so we're well within that. All right, so can I get a motion to approve the financials and expenses for February, please?
I'll make the motion.
Payables, just to be clear. I'm just-
Okay, you're right. The motion, anyone second?
Second.
Second, any further discussion about payables or our financials? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0.
Very good.
Can we,
That's all of our business.
that is our business for the funding corp. Can I get a motion to, do we have the motion?
Yeah.
We just turned this.
To adjourn?
To adjourn?
We need to adjourn.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn the funding corp, please?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Fantastic.
Can we just confirm who made the motion on the, Jeff did on the CD or the T-bill?
Yes.
And seconded by?
Linda.
By Linda, okay. So Jeff and Linda, Marty.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Orange County IDA's Financial Committee meeting. The time is now 4:18. Bill, if you can kindly do roll call.
Sure. Mark Green,
Here.
Linda Muller,
Here.
Jeffrey Christ.
Here.
Dean Tambury.
Here.
Four members here. For staff, myself, Bill Fioravanti, Marty Barras, and Kelly Riley. We have our external CFO, Shannon Manisi. We have our AV crew from Acquisitions Marketing, our general counsel, Lino Sharetta, and our state monitor, Mr. Brian Sandage. So,
Fantastic. Notice of this meeting was properly provided.
sir.
Fantastic. Let's get into it. I hope everyone's reviewed the minutes from last meeting. If so, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Also move.
I'll second.
Fantastic. Any discussions? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes approved. Great. New business. Shannon, we are now on the IDA component. If you can run us through the 2025 February financials, that'd be appreciated.
Sure. So the IDA had an application for Hotel Cornwall, that's what the $2,500 there is. The management fee income of $8,100 from OCFC and some interest. So for February, there was $11,095.96 in income. Most of the expenses are the normal standard monthly approved expenses. You'll see that the monitor is $28,963. That is for two bills from October and November of last year. Your IT support and audiovisual is $32.85, and that's made up of acquisitions, marketing, QuickBooks, Microsoft, GoDaddy, and Adobe. The memberships of 175 are for your Amazon Prime, and there was a pattern roundtable that Bill attended. And overall, the rest of the expenses are just the normal salaries and building utilities and repairs and maintenance. So for February, there were $82,138 in expenses, so a net loss of $71,042.06. Any questions on those?
And Shannon, I'll just add that, unless I'm wrong, the billing from RBT for the month also includes the year-end work that you did getting us ready
Yes,
for
it
audit,
does.
right?
Yep.
So that, and
Yep.
remember a couple months ago, we went over Shannon's latest letter with their rate and such, and we did add something she had looked to do in the past, but had let us go, like a $3,000 charge for year-end work. Okay, just wanted to be clear on that. Thanks, Shannon.
I had a question on the actuals and budget on the third set of columns to the right that are total I'm a little unclear what the total is for the actual and even the budget. Is it for year to date?
Yes. Those should be your year-to-date totals. So your actual is what you've actually earned for those 3 months, or expended for those 3 months, I believe. And Mark, or Kelly can jump in if I'm inaccurate, because she's the one that runs these reports. And then the budget is the budget for those 3 months as well.
But the actual, Shannon, from December isn't included in that number.
Oh, you took it from December?
Yeah, well, there's,
Oh.
they see the line for December because they want to see 3 months, so that's not included into
Okay, so it's just the past 3 months?
2
the
months.
2 months.
It's-
Oh, so you didn't include December, okay, sorry, I couldn't really hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I think the numbers don't line up for the 2 months. So maybe December's in there even if you didn't intend.
Which number is that, Jeff? Which number?
The,
you referring to?
Actuals under
Mhm.
total.
Correct.
If you look at those and then compare them to the first, or to January and February, they don't compute. You could do,
Yeah, it does look like it's pulling in December.
which I think it makes sense not to include December, but
Correct. Every one of them, you're saying, right?
Yes.
I'm a little confused. So what exactly are you looking at?
It is including December, you're right.
yeah. I'm looking at these
Oh,
numbers.
at the bottom.
Yep.
But they kind of are similar all the way through. If you add January and February, you don't get that number. You gotta add December to get the right number.
Interesting, because when I'm looking, like, I'm starting at the top, and the numbers make sense to me.
That's because some of those were not in December.
Right.
But if you get down to management fee, you got the 19 from December in the total actual.
Yep, I see it now. Yep. So
But
if
that
there's-
clears it up, so I understand it at
Yeah,
least.
because if it's a blank, it's totaling all three.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Do we need to modify or say we're gonna modify before approval? Or?
If it's supposed to be year-to-date, I think we should. And that would make sense to me. We started a new year.
In January, yep, I agree.
We know what the issue is, right?
Yeah,
So,
but just for board approval, maybe we could just note it. So if you make note of that, Mark, when we're asking the board for approval.
It was the same in OCFC, I just didn't say it soon enough.
Good catch. Good, Jeff.
Simple things.
I mean, next month you won't have to worry about it.
Right.
But for the first 2 months of the year. So write yourself a note for next January. Okay.
In February.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, January's correct, February's correct.
Yes,
The
Yes.
total just
The
isn't
total's-
correct.
correct. For year-to-date.
I say approve it and move it forward personally, but because the 2 months are correct.
Yeah, are we okay with that?
Just the columns don't say year-to-date on the top, so I don't know that it's actually misleading if you just say it's for the past 3 months. And then we can just make a note for next month to make sure that next month it will be year-to-date because it will be all 2025
Yeah,
anyway.
it won't be an issue the rest of the year, so.
Yeah.
All right, I can make note of that in the meeting. And, yes, all right.
Great, thank you.
All right, any other questions? Eagle eyes.
No,
Right?
I'm done looking.
Shannon, continue, please.
Sure. So cash in the bank, so the operating account had $643,000 in it, the escrows had $39,000, and the CDs had just shy of $8.6 million in it. And again, I'm sure you guys are gonna talk about the CDs. So overall, 9.283 in cash and CDs for February.
we'll come back to the CDs again.
Mhm.
Let's continue on with payables.
For the payables, you see the bills from Anshin there. The Felonzer Engineering was for the Lego land monitoring. Fran Roth, which is our stenographer, that was for the SWF development public hearing. Leanne Associates, which is the labor monitor, that's for OC Hospitality and Lunches, and those two are pass-throughs. The Loki Brill is also a pass-through, that's the closeout report for Fiorello Pharmaceuticals. And as you can see in RBT, the 3248.50 was for the year-end stuff, and the 1850 is their monthly amount that we usually pay them. And for the town of New Windsor, we had to pay for the fire inspection. That's a yearly thing that they come around and check all the smoke detectors. And Bill has his mileage reimbursement and tolls.
For conference and opening.
So I have a quick question. How come I got it, okay. Real quick, in case you're done, the Anshin, if you notice, at the third one down, that's actually more than what was budgeted in February, or what was in the February. And I believe that's because if you see the two top ones, 213, 213, 22.8, 61.83, those must have been cashed, so they hit our books in February. This one, 225, the 13,263 we'll see in March. Just, I don't want Mr. Chris to show me up again.
Okay. Good to know.
Bill, when does the, we started for the Stewart project. Have they paid in yet on any of that yet? They don't do that yet. When do they pay?
We haven't done a final approval even, let alone
So
closed on it.
they don't owe the idea anything until we get to that point.
Correct, until we do a closing.
That's okay.
Yeah,
And they had the
Public hearing.
the public hearing.
but they can't come to us until they have their approvals. They don't go through secret because it's on Port Authority property, state-owned property, but they go through their own, forget that acronym. That they go through their own approval process. They have to complete that before they.
Secret, is that a secret?
Yeah, but they don't have secret on this property, so, an EP, something I wanna say, I have it somewhere.
EPA.
No,
DEP?
no, it's,
I'll throw a
It's a-
couple acronyms out
yeah,
there.
no,
Not gonna
it's-
help.
Surplus?
But
no,
what do you think a time frame of that would be?
several months. It's gonna take a while. Lino, you had the same analysis of the Sky Harbor, right?
Yeah,
It's gonna take a
same
while.
thing.
They've got a lot of approval to go through. I have
Okay.
touched base with Port Authority kind of as part of my vetting process, but they said the permitting will be several months.
Okay.
It'll take a while. I'll keep you guys updated in my CEO report on that.
Thank you.
All right. Any questions about slide, well, don't have a number, but the transaction list by vendor? All right, then let's move on to the next one, the credit cards.
Those are the bills.
Yeah, so those just sync up with our bills from the previous page. I don't see anything too egregious. Any questions about any individual bills? Does anyone need more time to review? All right, then let's jump back and do the CDs.
Should we let Shannon go?
Shannon, are you good? Do you have anything else?
I mean, I can hang on if you have questions about where everything stands. It's up to you guys.
All right, well, This won't take too
Only
long.
a couple of
Yeah,
minutes.
exactly. All right, thanks, Shannon. We'll have you stick with us.
We would've been done if you hadn't interrupted me.
And I'm
We, same as from the, sorry. We have a 9-month CD coming due, tomorrow, 1.4 million. We have 644,000 in the checking account. What, do we have anything, do you think, in the next 3 months? I know we've made some commitments. Do we think
The Indigo Reservoir, there could be, that's gonna be incremental billing as the work is done. I think maximum, there could be in 3 months, there could be $100,000, but I think that's unlikely, but I think if we had to, guess high on that, that's probably the number I'd use.
all right, so that still would put us, we still would have over $500,000 in our
And
checking.
Vision Hudson Valley, but we don't know what's coming in with that.
True,
either.
we're starting to pay, remember that's for the quality of life report, a maximum of $20,000. We're paying right now the research students that are doing that, so we're paying almost like payroll, been doing it. That's gonna drag out for a while, so it's not gonna, and again, maximum 20 grand.
20 grand,
Yeah,
so that's,
it's kind of negligible.
all right. All right, then I don't, I mean, yeah, I guess then flipping the coin, is it prudent to continue to have, $650,000 in the checking account?
Mm.
I think so,
Okay.
especially when you have, June coming up. Right, another,
You're
Because it seems like
concerned
too
about not
much.
getting
Well,
interest.
no, what I'm saying is, we've got 650,000 in our checking account not
Getting
getting us
interest.
anything.
I understand.
Is that, should we continue that way?
So if you were to put some into the CDs, if we were to take it back out, is there a penalty?
Well, I think we would use the same thought process we did, which is doing the 9-month treasury bill, which would allow us the liquidity to move in and out if we did have to do anything. And since we are going to do that, I would rather, personally, I would rather take some money out of the checking account
I agree.
and put it in there. So I think, I apologize, we said at most, we think 100,000 for the one,
Yep.
20,000 for the other. Even if you said, let's keep another, 100,000 in
Yeah.
there, 250, you're still talking about 400,000 that could be making us money
Yeah,
Yeah,
versus leaving it in the checking account.
agree.
plus there's, I think, 50,000 in interest coming in with this.
Well, I don't know if is it that much? I
It
don't know if it's
depends
quite
on
that
if
much.
I-
More.
What's
Yeah,
that?
a little more.
I'm just
53.
doodling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're somewhere's under 60. Yep.
Well,
Only
doodle a
doodle.
little more then.
I rounded it off conservatively.
Yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, so then, if we're going to get that, then, I would say this, then,
We can always get some out of the T-bill if we need to, so.
I don't think we'll need to in 3 months.
I don't think so either, but, so if we,
Expenses are average like 80,000, I think, so.
8,000 a month,
No, you're about 90, 95, if you average all of last year's.
alright, so,
And you have to remember now you have the
Payments, yeah.
monitor.
so,
Figure
And the
100.
monitor
You're right.
fees, I don't know if they're only up to December, so you're still gonna have January and February invoices that have to be coming in, because you just got October, November.
Good point.
let's kind of think this through. Let's say 644 plus, we think roughly 55,000 in interest? Doodle, guys?
Yes,
Okay.
you got it.
All right, so that brings us to a cool, let's call it 700,000 in our checking account. Minus the 300,000 for 3 months of expenses, brings us to 400,000. Minus 100K, brings us to 3. minus 20,000 brings us, to 280. I mean, I still think we could probably take 250,000 out and utilize that. It's not as much as we thought originally, but does that make sense?
Yeah,
What's that extra 100 for?
potentially Indigo. That's high,
Oh,
but if they do
oh.
some work and we
Right,
reimburse them for
yeah.
April.
Well, it's good to factor that in.
And we want to.
I think that's very high, but
We typically leave it an even number going into the T-bill, correct? Some sort of even number, so would it be?
Yeah, well,
one-
the T-bill,
Six.
they kind of take a little vig out,
That's what
so
I'm
it's,
saying.
the CD, if you do 600, it's 600. The T-bill, if you do 600, it's like 590, so. But, yeah, I would say this then, right, not just yet, but, we've got 1.4 that rolls. So I'm trying to think of the best way to do this.
I guess my question is, do we have any anticipated income coming in?
That's another very good question. I would say probably not that we can count on in the next.
I don't think
few
we'll
months.
close anything, so I think it will be like application fees. In that time, we may penalize one of our projects for local labor compliance, minimum. I think you're talking $10,000, at most.
All right, then I think we do this. We say, let's, put 1,650,000. That's the 1.4 plus the 250,000. Let's put 1,650 into a 9-month T-bill maturing in December of this year. Does that make sense? And that should leave more than enough money to go 3 months. And at least we're gonna make some money on the 250,000.
1.65?
1.65.
Okay.
All right,
So
so.
I got a question. Do you have any shovel-ready expenses that are gonna come due in this period that
Yeah, good
are
question.
not
Great question.
part of your normal expenses?
I don't think so, no. But I think
Okay,
just after 3 months,
That would be the only thing
because,
that would be a
Close.
large
Yeah, hopefully.
expense
exactly,
that would throw this off.
yeah.
All right,
Good question.
Okay.
A, thank you. I love working with smart people. B, if something happens, Shannon, we are in T-bills, so we could get money
No,
out
I
in
know,
3 days.
if he knew it was coming.
Yeah.
then-
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
If there's nothing on the horizon, then yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great point. But there could be some expenses with the EPA, but we get reimbursed same day or next day with them, so that doesn't have to affect cash flow much. Fast New York's gonna take a little bit. Yeah, I think we're good for these 3 months for sure on that subject.
Okay. Then can I get a motion to invest 1,650,000 in the JP Morgan Treasury bill at 4.02% 9-month?
I'll move it.
Second.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion carries.
Motion carries.
Who was the first one, that motion?
Jeff and Dean seconded.
Thank you.
Let's see, what else do we have down here? Talked about that. And I think we are ready to adjourn.
Did we approve the financials?
We did not.
We did, yeah.
Right, jeez.
Right.
You're absolutely correct. Can I get a motion to approve the financials and the payables?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Dean seconds. Any further discussion about those? Then, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're good to go.
Meeting adjourned.
Then can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
Second.
Dean seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're out.
All right. Time for coffee and donuts.